Hey, welcome into the Lowdown, where we break down everything aviation and defense. Today, we're taking a look at China's Victory Day parade that just occurred. We'll take a look, see what they unveiled. I'll give you some of my thoughts. If you like this type of content, again, make sure you subscribe, grab the newsletter, which is down below. Check out our merch and swing over to Patreon if you're interested in supporting the channel there. But that being said, let's jump into China's Victory Day parade. So the Victory Day parade comes on the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. China is known for doing their military parades. This is something not uncommon or new, and every time they unveil or showcase their heavy weaponry, lots of troops in coordination, in sync. I mean, it is impressive, and their sound system, I'll be honest, I got to give them a little golf clap, because I mean it's pretty powerful there. But Xi kicks it off, right? And this is something, the Chinese people are the people that are not afraid of violence and are self-reliant and strong. I think that's the theme that's being woven. We see it in their 2049 plan, everything they talk about. So I guess not to be surprised here, but that's how he kicks it off. So let's just take a look at the parade itself.
自立自强的伟大民族。
You know, all the marching, again, I go like the sound guy. I mean, it's just really good. It's pretty powerful when you see all these troops marching in formation, the high steps in sync, and again, just the boot marching, again, I'll give them a golf clap. They kind of nailed there. But in there, they're unveiling a lot of new technology. We covered in the newsletter last week, the DF-61, which was the threat of the day. China's no different with the nuclear triad, air, land, and sea when it comes to nuclear weapons, to have that deterrence capability, the offensive, defensive capability, however you want to look at it. It is interesting. They rely upon road mobile ICBMs as part of their nuclear triad. They've had a lot of issues. If you don't remember, like last year, if you have been following the newsletter, we highlighted several Chinese defense officials, including their Secretary of Defense or Minister of Defense, that disappeared. He was fired / re-educated, arrested, however you want to look at it. But a discovery came that, a lot of their missile silos or a lot of their rockets were just filled up with water instead of rocket fuel. And you can imagine in this type of environment and society, the punishment is severe when you step out of line, when you speak against the regime, that, if you don't do your job, it's not like, hey, boss, we need some additional resources. This is not going well. And you just happen to get fired. Like, you're going to go to prison or worse, and your family's going to be punished. So it is interesting, right? You see all this stuff being rolled out. And again, to showcase China's might and their capability. Is this stuff real? Is it operational? We don't know. It would be really interesting if these were actually real rockets, real nuclear warheads. I highly doubt it. And maybe we should just jump to how we transport nuclear weapons, just so you can see a video of that.
Dream fearlessly.
Protect your family's dream.
All right. So when we transport nuclear weapons between silos for maintenance, being shut down, installation, etc., you can see this is coming out of Great Falls, Montana, from Malmstrom Air Force Base, where they're moving nuclear weapons for one reason or another, but they don't do it lightly. Now, granted, the parade is kind of shut down, but it's not just something that you have out there in the open. There's no reason for it. There's no point for it either. I mean, just look at those like MRAPs around that truck there. It's no joke. Okay, back to China. Now, again, does that say these are real or not real? I don't know. Again, I would be surprised. There's obviously overt ways when it comes to the video we just looked at, overt and covert ways to transport nuclear weapons, nuclear material, etc. And there's reasons and justifications of why you would do either method. Let's keep watching here. So this is the JL-1, which unveiled during the Victory Day parade, air-launched ballistic missile, nuclear capable, be delivered off their HN-6 bomber. You know, again, I would be surprised if these were live weapons. I would imagine they're most likely inerts, just dummy shells. Again, why would you want to put all your tools in one spot and potentially risk sabotage, getting struck, etc.? JL-3. Now, this is supposed to be a submarine-launched ballistic missile, and according to the Center for Strategic Studies, capable of carrying an estimated 3 nuclear warheads. The DF-61, the Guam killer. Another road mobile ICBM there, the DF-31. It is interesting to see all the variants of these ICBMs, and you kind of got to wonder, like, one, why you just wouldn't iterate off one of them, or maybe make enhancements to the one you got. Like, what problem are each one of these solving that one couldn't do? So, interesting there. An 18 meter nuclear capable giant underwater drone. Submarine drones, I see that being in the future. DF-61. I said the DF-61 being the Guam killer. It is the DF-26. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, it is impressive to see all these troops lined up, but I mean, it's a show. In theory, anyone really could do this. I mean, I'm not discounting that, marching in step and things like that. Like, it looks good, but that's about where it is. This is the piece, right? The robot dogs and the drones. I just, the future of battlefield, like, I would not want to be on the infantry. Like, again, you see what's happening in Ukraine. Imagine like robot dogs with like directed energy weapons roaming through the woods. Like, it just wouldn't be a good day. All right, the drones, even more of them. Oh, we're gonna see some of them. Looks oddly like an MQ-9. Go ahead and comment down below that we can't design anything on our own. You know, we've seen this year China unveil a whole slew of new aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, which is impressive. I think the United States is no different. Instead of the state owning and running this, we rely upon defense contracts to do it. So one aspect, like, you wouldn't see us bringing all these defense industries and having them turn over all their gear to go showcase on a parade. Nonetheless, though, right, you can see how fast they're iterating, how fast they're producing. Again, are these flyable? Are they operational? That's a whole nother question. They obviously have flown a lot of new stuff this past year. Going from a prototype to full-scale production is a challenge, and that's an understatement in of itself. So again, it is impressive to produce prototypes and fly them. I'm not discounting that. But to be able to do it at scale and something that's actually functional and capable, that's a whole nother story. But I will give them, if the Chinese are good at anything, it's obviously producing things at scale. Interesting. We look at the exhaust can of this UAV here. So if you look at an F-35 exhaust can, it's like, where have we seen that before? Does that look oddly familiar? It looks fairly similar to me. So while not the exact same, again, every time I make a comment about the J-20 looking like the F-22, the bots just go screaming into the comments, which helps the engagement rate, and I'm appreciative of. But it is known that the Chinese hacked and stole a bunch of technology related around the F-35, the C-17, the F-22, the F-16. I mean, we talk about it in the newsletter as well, where it seems like every single week someone's getting caught that's stealing proprietary data, secret information from the medical space to the defense space and everything in between. So naturally, we'll start seeing, and we obviously have seen, this type technology evolve in China. So, yep, there you go. got obviously tanks.
Watch my snoring disappear in one night. My wife couldn't believe it was that easy.
I tried these popular snoring solutions.
Tanks rolling down the street here. Obviously a lot of them. That's cool. Cool shot. I don't know enough about tanks. I mean, again, maybe a golf clap to the road system there, because I feel like our roads probably just get completely chewed up and destroyed here. But this parade ground, obviously going to handle it. All right, so now we got some more nukes rolling into town. Again, I would be very surprised if these are actual nukes. That would be, I'll go out on a limb here and say, rather reckless. The other piece too here is like, if you have to showcase all this, like really, why do you have to showcase this or feel like you need to showcase this? It's obviously a power statement or an attempt at a power statement. Just saying, hey, look how much stuff we actually have. Words versus actions, right? Now, again, if I was to be honest, like comparing our military parade, which the Army's 250th versus this, like, I mean, from the production standpoint, this one knocks it out of the park. Seeing the troops march, seeing the vehicles roll down, it definitely is pretty impressive. But again, why? Hypersonic all-weather cruise missiles showcase China's long-range, multi-terrain strike capabilities. You know, one thing as you like look at this too, like they don't look like real missiles. Like what it's lacking, like rivets, markings. Like, you know, traditionally you would see like warning areas. You know, don't step on the fin, don't touch the fin, max movement, and like, and again, I would expect to see the stenciling on the side of the weaponry. Because if these things were actual lives and inerts, like they're going to have limitations of how things are going to be moved. Production dates, serial numbers, things like that, versus just, like in this case, YJ21, right? Like, and we back up just a little bit here. It's not 4K. Let's look at the fins. Right, so like a lot. If we jump back to a lot of this, you know, you look here. Again, not saying that's not like most rockets, most missiles. Okay, not all right. Like you would expect fins to be moving, but you can see here, like completely sealed. Again, maybe the YJ21 doesn't need it. But imagine this hypersonic missile. So again, you're going to have some kind of guidance and steering there. So. Yeah. Now, as I watch more of this, venture to say a lot of this, I mean, this is not fake, but a lot of those missiles, etc. So you look at like the rivets, the bolts, and how this thing is like put together. All those other things are just like super smooth. There's no seams. Maybe it's paper mache. Like we're chanting to the chairman, thanking him, and he's thanking them. You know, the angles here, obviously you don't see the depth. It is a lot of soldiers. Right here we can see like this is it. So like that's a stage action to get some B-roll there. Like pre-staging for the parade. Amphibious assault vehicles, beach landings. How much practice do you think they had to do to like jump on that together, synchronize? I don't feel like that's what they do on a daily basis. Get a lot of show there. I mean, it does look great for movies. Logistics, equipment. Good to see our loggies in sync. I mean, logistics is the backbone. So if you can't solve that problem, the war is going to be short there. Obviously, they're thinking about that. And all these things are like pristine and clean, which you would want for your parade rolling down the street. But I mean, almost like toyish. All right, now we got some planes flying. They unveiled the KJ600, their AWACS airborne control platform that's new. I think we'll see all variants of the J20S flying, or sorry, the J20. The S being their latest variant, the twin-seat variant that they released. That's a lot of people there in the square. Well, you know, I have perspective on too, and I haven't dug into the 250th Army birthday parade in DC. I've been to DC. You're getting some tight angles in certain spots, which can, one, give the illusion of a lot of people. Now, there are a lot of people there, and then I'm guessing this is maybe a 2-mile parade ground. That's a pure guess, right? But we're not rolling just all this iron at once, all stage. Again, you know, you can compress it to make it look more than it is. And again, they did a very good job producing this video. Hazy it is. That's in their version of the P3 submarine hunter. China's Y-20, which has done international missions now. We've seen that it arrived last week in Moscow. It's made trips to South Africa. So again, they're kind of broadening out into that global reach with the logistics and support. Again, don't scoff it. That's cool. Need more tail cams. I give them credit. They probably made that happen. You know, it would take us 5 years and mountains of paperwork and probably $4 million to get that camera in the tail. We're not all perfect. I would love to be proved wrong on that. Like some H-6 bombers, nuclear capable. We saw the air launch ballistic missile, and maybe I'll have to tell what's carrying on that pylon there. There you go. You can find that video over on On-Demand News. I thought it was a pretty good showcase, just kind of quick snapshot of the China Victory Day parade. Yeah, I mean, overall, like, it is impressive to see that many people in sync and step. You know, it shows very clean, very disciplined military for at least the people we saw there. Now, again, China's had a lot of issues when it comes to people doing what they're supposed to do, yada, yada, yada. We could break down into that whole concept to begin with. But a lot of iron they're rolling out. Big difference from prototype reality to mass production at scale. But again, we've seen just how fast China iterates going through it. So That being said, make sure you grab the newsletter down below. See you next time.